Shavua Tov, welcome back to Bet Midrash Sha'ar HaEmet. B'ezrat Hashem, today we're going to talk about something that we spoke last shiur, a little reminder for you, what we were speaking about. We were speaking about two parts of the soul that a person has. First part of the soul called Nefesh Bahamit, it's an animalistic soul that he has, and second part of the soul that a person has is called Nefesh Elukit, a godly soul that Hashem gave us. Now, why Hashem created those two souls for the person? As we said, Hashem beside that created the body, and a Nefesh Elukit, the godly soul, was put inside of the Nefesh Bahamit, which is as a wrapper for the Nefesh Elukit, for the godly soul. And then those two souls were put into the body of the person. Now, from those two souls, Torah says, coming out two big powers of the person. We're going to speak about those two big powers today. And if you see in the root of the things, to the roots of the things, you will see and find that majority of our life is connected to those two powers. What are they, those two powers? First, it's a power of godly soul, it's a power of giving. Giving without any reason. Giving without waiting to get back. Giving with love. Giving a lot, no limits. That's a power of giving. Second power, it's called power of taking. Taking without the end. Receiving. Having things. Not giving away the things. And now, in order to understand those two powers, we will have to go a little bit to the background of the creation. So over there, it would be understandable for us more how we should develop those two powers, and can we live without those two powers or not. And actually, person's life dependent on those two powers, giving and taking. In the beginning, my words probably for you are going to be strange. Well, what's the big deal about the giving and taking? In the end of the shiur, you will understand exactly what I mean by saying those words. As it says in the Torah, Hashem said, I want to create this person in this world, and it says, Na'aseh Adam, that's the first part, Betzalmenu Kidmutenu, that's the second part of the speech of Hashem. Hashem should be looking like us, compared to us. Meaning, Hashem said, I'll create a person. It's one part of the speech. He's going to be a person. Second part of the speech, he has to look like us. What's the difference? As we know, there are 4 steps of creation, 4 levels of creation in the world. First level called domem. Domem, which means with no soul, as we think, because it doesn't move, doesn't talk, doesn't grow. As sand, as a stone, as a water. That's what's called domem. First level of creation. Second level of creation, it's called tzomeach. Tzomeach, it means something that has power of growth, which is plants. Third level of creation, it's something that called chai. Chai, it means alive. Besides that it grows from the ground, right? It could move and it could run, it could multiply also. So those are animals. And the fourth level of creation, the highest, we think the highest level of creation is what? It's a chai medaber. It's a live person who talks. The power of speech was given only to people. No animal, since the creation of the world, could speak. They could teach the animal to say certain phrases but the animal itself does not understand what it says. It only repeats a certain wave like it heard and remembered it. That's all. Not more than that. The speech of the person has feelings. Speech of the person has mind put. His mind is in it. Speech of the person, whatever he speaks, he has all his soul is included in his thoughts. Now, when you could see it very well, when the people go out, they start to talk to each other. How they contact? Not only with eyes, they talk. They ask, and sometimes if one of them not talkative so much, what happens? They don't like each other. They come, the rabbi, he doesn't talk at all. Or she doesn't talk at all. Is it a problem? Not so much. It might be because of only they shy. They don't want to talk because of they shy. It's good midah also. But little by little, person contacts another person through speech. So it's a big power for itself. Now, those 4 steps of creation, in between of them, they have another creation that connects between 2 steps. It's unbelievable. What connects between stones, sand, water, and a plant? Is there any middle stage for that? Yes. If you know almogim, coral reefs, you know the coral?
Yeah.
They are growing stone. They are stone, but it grows in the water. You understand what I'm talking about? That's a stage between a world of sand and something without the soul that cannot move, and between the plants. Another stage between the animals, so another between the plants and animals. What's the stage? What kind of thing is this?
Plant that eats.
There's a plant, you're right, that could eat other animals. You know, there's a special plant that has a special smell that all the insects are called for that smell. Once they hit the plant just closes and digests them. But besides that, Gemara says another real animal was as a plant. Gemara says this animal's name was Adnei Hasadeh. This animal, it's kind of looks like a probably monkey that connected with its belly button to the land, to the earth. And it grows from the earth. And it cannot go far away from its place that it's connected to. It goes like around it. And once you cut it, it dies. If you cut it from the source of the life that he connected to, meaning the land, you cut it, it dies. That's called Adnei Hasadeh. By the way, those animals, they were in Egypt. They scream like crazy. And they scream so horrible that if pregnant woman would hear the scream, she would lose the baby. So Hashem brought those animals, by the way, to the Egypt. When a makat arov, when a punishment of arov, wild animals came to Egypt, Hashem brought those animals there. How? It says, Ve'et ha'adama asher hem alea. Hashem brought also the ground that they are on that ground. Which kind of animal they come with the ground? Because Hashem could not separate them from the ground, so He brought them with the ground to the Egypt, and they weren't petrifying the Egyptians there. Now, another stage that connects between animals and man, what it is? Kof. You know what a kof is? A monkey. Monkey, right? It's a stage of animal that looks like a person, has 5 fingers, it could walk, you know, but it is not a person. It's a stage that connects between man. Now, what about Rabotai? Have you ever heard there's a 5th level of creation? The 5th level of creation, many people they don't know about. And you would be stunned when you hear this. What is 5th level of creation? That's what called Naaseh Adam Betzalmenu. It's a person that compared to Hashem, person that has a tselem elukim, person that has a special godly soul. And who are they? Bnei Israel. It's a fifth level of creation. Highest level of creation. Now, what you say, what's the difference between us and other people? You're right. Other people, they in a physical structure is the same as us. They have 2 eyes, 2 ears, right? Nose, and everything is the same. But the spiritual creation of them is totally different and lower than our spiritual creation. What's special about us? We have a special added soul to us. This soul called Nefesh Elukit, which other nations do not have. And that's why in Torah it says, Naaseh Adam, we will do Adam, and then it says how we will do Adam, but Tzalmenu Kidmutenu, he should be compared to us. What's compared to us? To have a special soul, a godly soul. Now, and that's why we see the big difference between Jewish nation and other nations. How could Jewish nation could survive for so long while the other great nations, they vanished from this world? Rome, Greece, Greeks, they not existed anymore. And they were great nations. And Jewish people, as they were, with the same Torah, for 3,330 years, continuing their path in the future, till Biyad Mashiach Tzidkenu B'ezrat Hashem, till Mashiach comes. So what do you say? How? How is it possible? In order to understand that, we will have to go to understand those 2 powers that always battle between each other. The power of giving that comes out of godly soul, and power of receiving that comes out of animalistic soul, which every one of us has. Now, I'm asking you a question. When a lady, she gets pregnant from her husband and she delivers the baby to this world. Tell me, is it easy to be with the baby? Every 2 hours you have to wake up to feed the baby? No, it's not easy. But still, mother wakes up. She has a certain reflex. You know, today they came up with a new research that the mother has special hormone in her body at that time, that even a baby would say, she will hear. She has a special hormone that multiplies power of hearing for her, and besides this power of feeling that the baby is hungry. And whoever already has a baby, she could say that whenever baby was somewhere else and he was hungry, she felt how the milk goes down the milk path in her breast. They feel it. Why? How is it possible? Because it comes out of godly soul, of power of giving without receiving anything. Just take it. Take it. And any power of giving, you should know, brings life to this world. Any power of giving brings life to this world. An example. Person, he planted the tree. If he's not going to give the water, or Hashem is not going to bring the rain, this tree is going to die. Right? Because tree wants to receive. But if there is nothing who wants to give, tree going to die because it wants to receive only. You understand? So now, in order to understand more in examples this, I'll bring you another example of giving. What it calls giving. Person comes and sees someone in a bad situation, and he sees he's not well done with his business and everything, broke. He gives him a hand, he gives him like $1,000, he says, go, find yourself. Here's $1,000 for you. Go make business, buy and sell. You could do it. What did he do to him? He gave him. That guy, he received. Imagine he went, opened a business, and became a multi-billionaire. So next time he comes, he tells him, this is a check for you. He gives him $1 million. Now the question was, who is the giver, who is the receiver here? What happened here? You understand? He gave him the beginning, then he gave him... Who? Sometimes you could be a receiver in order to give. Sometimes you could be a giver in order to receive. So it's two different things, Rabotai. To give without any intentions is two different things. For example, person, he plants the tree because he likes the tree. He gives the water to tree because he likes the tree? No. He likes the fruits that the tree will give. And he is not gives the water to the tree because he likes the tree or because he wants to give to the tree. No. He wants to take it from the tree. And in order to take, you have to put in something. You have to put in something. That's what's called, even you give, but you still, your mind is what? To receive. That's not real power of giving. This is called power of giving with a reason to receive. And upstairs is going to be called, he's a receiver. But sometimes you could receive and really you giving. An example. Person comes home, his wives give him nice dinner, he ate it, he's satisfied, he blessed Hashem. So I said, I would like to go to my mom to see her, or to my parents to see them. What do you think? A moment he comes home, he says, right? She says, oh, come, my soul. You came home, you're probably hungry, sit down, I'll give you food. And now, if you say, she prepared for 2 hours the food, nice food for you. If you say, I'm okay, I'm satisfied, you would feel like Fui Tova, like person who ungrateful for whatever they do for you. So what do? You sit and you start to bless and eat. Now what do you do actually? Are you giving or you taking? You taking. You consuming the food. But really what do you give? And you say, such a tasty food. What did you really do? Do you need the food? No. Are you satisfied? Yes. But you gave a nice feeling to your parents that you ate her food, yet that you ate their food, and they have this feeling you're grateful to them. You say, such a tasty food. Even you want to throw up already, but you gave them this feeling. So what do you understand from here? Sometimes person could be giving, but really he wants to take. That's what all about of our capitalistic world. They think everything free, everything just come. We want to give you. We want to just take it. One of the examples is this: a loan. Just come, take it. We want to give it to you. But really, do you think they want to give it to you? No. They just wanted you to be obligated to them, to give them for longer time and for more money. Because if you see the rates on the one fine print that they write, that those $100,000 that you will take from them, that they want so hot-heartedly to give you, they're really going to take it back as $300,000. And you say, wait, but you wanted to give it to me. So now, maybe you start to understand a little by little where we're going to, where we're heading to. Power of giving and power of taking. And now we go to another question. If Hashem gave those two powers within us, now you would imagine and understand why Hashem created two people. Why Hashem created man and woman. It's very interesting. When Hashem said, Na'aseh Adam, He didn't say, let us do a Zachar and Nekeva. He says, we will do Adam. Adam doesn't have to be in the Zachar and Nekeva, meaning man, female and male. But when it says B'Tselem Elokim bara otam, Zachar u'Nekeva bara'am, it says when Hashem created them with special tselem, with their special structure, with this godly soul, it says, I'll create two now. So do you understand now why when we are with the godly soul, the fifth level of creation, who were created with the godly soul, he was supposed to have a second person next to him? Why? Because in order to put into a practice those two powers, you need someone who takes and who gives. Because if you won't have anyone to take from or to give to, those two powers are for nothing, what they are created for. And everybody asked the question, what? It was not good for the person to be created alone? For what was person created to? Why Hashem created us man and woman? For what? It's good we were created at one, at one body. Adam Arishon was created at one body, whole structure. Man and woman together. No problems. Why Hashem was supposed to separate them? Why Hashem said, no, they have to be two units? For what? In order to understand this question, we will have to understand a little bit deeper issue. Why Hashem created us at all? There are many reasons. But one, a biggest reason why Hashem created us to be like Him. To be like Him. Like Gemara says, Ubotit bak, you should glue yourself to Hashem. So Talmud asking question, how could you glue yourself to the fire? Because on Mountain Sinai, when Hashem came to Har Sinai, how did He come? As a fire being. How could you contact the fire? Because if you go to the fire, you're going to be burned. So Talmud says, no, whatever it means in the Torah, glue yourself and stick yourself to His characteristics and to His midot, to His character. Be like Him. And Talmud says, Mahu rachum afatarachum. He's merciful, you also should be merciful. He make chesed, you also should make chesed. Do you understand? Meaning the main reason of creation was to be like Him. Now, if the main reason of creation to be like Him, and His midah, His character, is what is character? His quality is to give always, with no return. And Talmud says, no matter what you do, Hashem doesn't need your deeds. You think He misses something, and you fulfill whatever He misses? No. Hashem doesn't miss anything, Hashem doesn't need anything. Hashem only gives. Hashem only gives. And He wants you to learn to be like Him. But He created the second power within you, which is sometimes says, Amni, what about me? And for me, right? You're standing in front of a nice schmucks bar, tasty, and one piece of meat standing there. And you were looking at that meat and you decided to take it. And somebody was next to you and he goes and suddenly you took your fork and she took her fork or he took her fork. And two forks on the way to that meat meet each other. Question. In order to show how we're respectful to each other, what do? Say, you go. And then it says, you go. But eventually, what most of the people do, they just split it. Both of them didn't do the right thing. Why? By splitting the piece of the meat, what did they do? They just fulfill the power of taking from one side. And also from another side, they something gave up, Also, you should give up a little. The most proper things what to do, what? Just to leave this piece alone and say, only you. And that's it, to be gone. And eventually say, who's going to take away this piece? Somebody else. So it's good. Why? Because both of you fulfill this power to give. To give for no reason. As we would do for the child. Let's say your child comes with you and you take piece of the meat and say, Mommy, I want it. Would you ask yourself question, why you, why not me? No. Right away you're going to feed. Or even not your child, even another child, somebody's child will go and say, excuse me, can I have this piece?
Yeah.
You would smile and give him right away. Why? Why to the child is this way and to the other people like half? Why? Do you understand the difference? That's what it is. We're given another power. But this another power, if we know how to rule this power proper way, we could elevate ourselves to the highest level of holiness. And listen how to do this. Very interesting. Hashem created especially Adam and Chava in one body. And then Hashem says, I have to separate them. And I have to see how they're going to be like me. Meaning, giving without return. Giving with no problems. Just take it. Take it. And really, Rabotai, sometimes giving might be not good power also. Because Chava, what did she do? She took the fruit of the prohibited tree, right? And she gave to Adam. Giving sometimes also should be normal. You have to know where to give and how to give, and where to receive and how to receive, and for what to receive. Adam created Adam and Chava. Today, in face of Adam and Chava, we could see any husband and a wife, any man and a woman. That are Adam and Chava. Two prototypes the Torah brings in order to understand what's a man and a woman. Power of a man is mostly to give according to his creation. Power of a woman is mostly to receive and preserve. As we see in creation of the person himself, the man who give, a woman wants who receive and preserve and expand it. But eventually for what? To give out another life to this world. That's how goes conception, right? That's how goes developing of the fetus. And once it's developed fully, after 9 months, she gives out the birth to this world a new life. Do you understand how it works? Meaning woman is not only to receive, woman also gives out. And eventually, next 4 or 5 years for the child, mother is only giving and giving. And some mothers even to 120 years to their children. If they live, they just giving and giving. And all the parents is like this. And by that power, we have a first mitzvah in Torah, what? To multiply. First mitzvah that is mentioned in Parashat Bereshit, it says, Peru urvu. Why Hashem mentioned this mitzvah? For what? Why I should multiply? For what? It's good like this also. We're young, why we should? For what? Hashem wants you to expand your power of giving. Do you understand? Hashem wants you to expand this power for what? In order to be like Him. It says very interesting pasuk in Tehillim. In Tehillim it says pasuk. By the way, whoever reads Mincha, it says every time. He says it every time, every day. It says Ki shemesh umaren Hashem Elokim. Hashem, He is like sun. He is a sun and a shield. So asking question, what's the sun has to do with Hashem? Sun is only servant of Hashem. Hashem is not son. Chas v'shalom. David HaMelech writes those words. It's like it's a heresy to say that Hashem, Ki shemesh umagen Hashem. Hashem is a shemesh. No. Talmud explains those words. Talmud says, as the sun gives its light to everyone in this world with no differences, with no calculation to whom to give the light, to whom not to give the light, whether to wicked people, whether to righteous people. Sun shines and sun gives the light. The same way Hashem gives the life to everyone. And you ask yourself a question. Person who wakes up in the morning on Shabbat, lights up cigar and smokes, Jewish person, chas v'shalom, he does such a things. You ask yourself, why Hashem gives him life? Why Hashem gives him life? Let him not to have life, let him not sin. Right? Isn't it the right question? But Hashem gives him. Hashem gives him. Person, he takes somebody's wife and he makes with her adultery. Why Hashem gives him life? For what? He did such a big sin. Another person, he kills other people. Why Hashem gave him life? To kill other people's life? To kill them? Let Hashem take him away. But Hashem gives the life. Why? That's the power of giving. With no reason? No. There is a reason. Maybe he will make tshuva. Isn't a good reason? On a maybe, some people, they every morning they wake up and they live on condition of maybe. Maybe he will change. Maybe he will make tshuva. That's why Hashem gives him life. So you ask yourself, but majority of the people, we see what's going on all around. They're not so righteous. We see what they do, and still Hashem gives them. Hashem knows what's going to be with them. Yeah, but Hashem gives. Hashem gives. Now, does it mean we also should support those people who are wicked? No. It does not mean so. This is Hashem to decide whom He wants to support, whom He doesn't want to support. What our reason is to learn what it means to give in order to elevate ourselves. And sometimes by taking something, you're really giving somebody. An example. You came to somebody came to your house and gave you a nice present. For you, this present is so cheap that you're even embarrassed to accept it. But still, what do? You smile, you show your 32 nice teeth, and you even open your mouth out of wondering, such a beautiful, and you make yourself like, oh, come on, what did you bring to me, right? And you take it with a joy. And this person says, oh, really? He needs it, I did a good present to him. Tell me, did you take a present? Did you need this present? No, you didn't want this present even from the beginning. But you made him feel that he was needed here. You made him feel that his present is a good present. So if you did so, really you gave, you didn't take it. Really you gave. The same thing with the wife, the same thing with the husband, the same thing with the family inside. To make a feeling that you gave. And there are many stories about this, Rabotai. If a person is going to sit back and think a little bit, what did I give to this world? What do I do by giving? Most of the people today in our society, in our world, they think about receiving, not giving. Is it true? Yes. You see the reality. People wait to receive. To receive. To receive. Buy one, get two free. Get. Receive. Receive. Just receive. And by giving you, they get it really. Right? That's how it works. Getting. Somebody said sometimes you see buy two, get third free. You think, oh, I got free item. You didn't get free item. You spend money for two. Do you understand? You think you got a third for free, but you spend for two. That's what you're not thinking about. That's another power mixing up the person's da'at about the giving and taking. They mix up you. You say, buy two, get one free. So what it becomes? So you think, oh, I get a free item. But you don't understand, but you don't understand. You spend money for $2.
No.
Okay, if you need it, you're allowed to buy it. There's no question. You should use this free item. If you need it. But most of the people go and see how they shop. They buy things they don't need, and they throw them out on Pesach later, right? And really, that's what happens, and that's how we live. And we continue like this all our lives. We work in order to spend. We spend in order to have it and not throw it later, and then another spend. And Rabotai, if person continues this way, only receiving, Mishnah in Pirkei Avot says very interesting statement. Person who says, whatever I have is mine, and whatever you have is mine. Who is he? Rasha, it says. Wicked person. You could imagine? Meaning, mine is mine, I'm not giving to anybody, there's no power of giving, and yours is mine, power of giving to receive, give it to me. How is it possible? Whoever says whatever mine is yours, and whatever yours isn't yours, also yours, who is called?
Good.
Not tzaddik. He called chassid. From word chesed. What chesed means, Rabotai? Chesed means to expand, to give, to help. Chassid. Everyone could be at his house chassid. How? By giving to his wife, by giving to his children, by giving to someone help. He's chassid. He makes chesed. You understand? This midah we see, Rabotai, in our father. Now, in order to get it juicier, we give a lot of examples. We'll go to Torah. Do we have some like these people in Torah or not? Yes, we do. If we see in our father, Avraham Avinu, and our mother, Sarai Imenu, who they were, both of them. And they were profile, they were special people who showed to entire nation of Jewish people how to be man and a woman, husband and a wife, giving to this world. It says, today, I made a drasha, special drasha, about Sarah Imenu, that she passed away because of Parashat Shavua Chaye Sarah. Rashi says, very interesting statement, which I could not understand. Rashi explains why in first pasuk of Parashat Chaye Sarah it mentions twice Shnei Chaye Sarah. It says, Vayiyu Chaye Sarah 100 shanim ו20 shana ו7 shanim Shnei Chaye Sarah. Meaning, twice in pasuk it mentioned Chaye Sarah. Chaye Sarah, it means life of Sarah. So Rashi says, to tell you that all the years of Sarah were equally good. Kulam shavim l'tova. All 127 years that Sarah lived, throughout her life, they were equally good with no problems. She didn't have any problems in her life. If we go in chronological order, historically, it's wrong. If we see how miserable life of Sarah was, we would be shocked. And still Rashi says no. Pasuk says that her life was entirely good, equally good as all life, whatever she lived. And now let's check it out, if it's true or not. We know that Sarai Imenu, she got married to her uncle. If you tell today to girl to get married to her uncle, she will go a little bit, strange. So what's wrong with me, she will say, right? That's the first question she will ask. What's wrong with me? Why should I get married to my uncle? Okay, so Sarah didn't find this as a problem. She got married to her uncle. His name was Avram in the beginning. Another thing, her uncle was older than her 10 years. It says the difference between them was 10 years. If you tell today to girl, get married to the person who is older than you 10 years, say, what, I'm old lady? I have still time, Don't even advise me such a shidduchim. Today they go with the application of shidduch. In application they write, till what age you would like to get married to. And the first question they answer, like, what's the range? 2-3 years, not more than that. More than what's Isur Deoraita, is prohibition from Torah, more than that? No, they don't want. Said. Next, they got married, they lived together for 10 years, and they don't have children. Tell me, a regular kala, a regular bride, once she gets married, the first month's okay, they call it a honeymoon. How do you call it? Honeymoon. They go moony at that month. Sorry for the expression. And then what happens? Pepper moon starts. Reality moon. Pepper moon, I call it. Every 10 minutes, she goes to check if she's pregnant. Did she get pregnant? No. Did you get pregnant? No. Imagine Sarah Imenu, 10 years. 10 years with no children. Tell me, is it good life? The first thing, lady, she gets married, what she's waiting for? To have a baby. The first thing she's waiting for, to have a baby. And what happens? No babies. It's good life. Rashi says, very good life. Kulan shavim b'Torah. Continue. Suddenly one morning Avraham Avinu wakes up, says, I saw a weird dream. Yeah? What did you see? I saw Hashem came to me and spoke to me. And yes, what did he tell you? He told me, go away from your house. Where? I don't know. He told me, I'll show you. Imagine, today a husband wakes up, says to his wife, I saw Hashem in my dream, and Hashem told me, go away from New York. Where? He will tell me. Said, okay, just a moment. She goes to the kitchen, picks up the phone, dials 911. Do you have any number of any institution? Why do you need it? There's a person in my bedroom. He says that he spoke to God, and he says that he has to leave somewhere, and he doesn't know where. And you could imagine Sarai Imenu packs up right away, says, yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. It's unbelievable. So they go. And she asked him on the way, tell me, do you know where we're going? He said, yes. Hashem told me there's a land. There's the honey and the milk. Land of the honey and the milk. It's a beautiful land, a lot of fruits. And he promised this land to me. Really? And Sarai Imenu continues to go. Deserts. You know, those areas are all the deserts. Yeah. Canaan, it's all the deserts there. Yeah. What do you think what happens? They come. What do they see? Va'arav haya ba'aretz. It was a hunger in Mitzrayim, Rabotai. It was a hunger when they came to Canaan. People, they ate grass, nothing to eat. And you could imagine, Sarai Imenu, even a question didn't ask. Imagine if a wife today comes to the country of milk and honey, says, yeah, where's the milk and honey? I'll show you now, milk and honey. Divorce. What kind of thing is this? Milk and honey? You playing around? You have a family? Sarai Imenu didn't ask a question. So Abraham says, listen, it's a hunger. We have to run away. Where do we go? We go to Egypt. Now good life starts. Look at this. They go to Egypt, and Abraham says, oh, you're so beautiful. You know, I'm afraid those people, they're going to take you. And if they take you, can you make me a favor? Can you tell them that you're my sister? That they should not kill me? Avraham Avinu preparing his wife that some goyim should take her. Imagine couple, husband come to his wife, you know, we're going to go to Bronx. If they take you, just say you are my sister. They should leave me alive, at least. And you could imagine Sarai Menu, no questions. So okay, no questions. Okay. Tell me, is it good life with such a husband? Put her in danger and tell her even more things to do for him. Hashem saves the Sarah. Sarah has a belief in Hashem. Because what her husband said, that's what should be done. If he spoke to Hashem. What happens, Rabotai? They come out of Egypt, Paro got punishment, Beseder. Hashem saved them. They come back. Paro even didn't have a chance to touch her. Why? Because the angel, a special angel, was standing and guarding her, Sarai Imenu. It says in the Midrash that Paro was so wicked and he liked Sarah so much, and because he could not touch her, what did he do? He made a statue of Sarah and put it in the bedroom in order every night to look at her. She was so beautiful. Statue of Sarah. So they came out of there. Avraham Avinu goes back to Canaan, where he lives in Gerar. Gerar is the city of Avimelech. Avimelech was a king of Pelishtim. And now Avimelech takes Sarah. And again, Avraham Avinu says, tell him that you're my sister. Another danger. Okay, he's my brother, I'm his sister. Again, Avimelech cannot touch her. Tell me, this kind of life, could you call good life? Every single moment to be taken by Goyim, every single moment to be taken somewhere you don't know where you're going, and you don't know what's going to be, maybe he will rape you. It's good life? Okay, continue. She comes out of house of Avimelech. It says that she sees that she does not get pregnant another 10 years, right? She doesn't have children. When she didn't have children another 10 years in Eretz Canaan, she told to Avraham Avinu to get married to another wife. Ooh, this you don't mention in our generations. What are you talking about? It's good life. And how she comes to Avraham Avinu, she says, Bona el shivchati. Please, come be with my maiden servant. Please? Please? She begs her husband. It's something not from this world. It's something, how could you do such a thing? Today you say to modern society such a thing, they say, you're insane. Again. And what do you think? Next day, she comes out with a pregnancy test, Hagar, and she says to Sarai Imenu, you see that? I'm pregnant. She makes fun of her. You 20 years and you show yourself tzaddiket, you show yourself righteous woman, you didn't get pregnant. Me? One night, that's it, it's enough. You see, it depends from which corner you see. In order to conceive Yitzchak Avinu, you need 34 years of suffering. In order to have one like Ishmael, it's enough only conception for one night. You don't need so much. You could imagine Yitzchak Avinu. And Sarai Imenu suffers because of that. She tells her, go clean up. She says, no, I don't have to. I'm already not maiden servant. I'm wife of Abraham. I'm the same way you are. I'm not going to clean. And you could imagine what's going on? And Rashi says her life was perfectly good. Could you call this life perfectly good? When your maiden slave makes you as a slave, makes fun of you, and you suffer because of this. And it continues. It continues. And now eventually Sarah goes out of the house of Avimelech, she gets pregnant. Everybody what started to say? Oh, she got pregnant from Avimelech. Letzanei Ador, it says in the Talmud that the people, wicked people, who make fun of Abraham, they made it specially, she got pregnant from Avimelech, not from Abraham. Even though they saw that Abraham Avinu already had a son, Ishmael, that Abraham Avinu could bring children. They made fun of Abraham. He cannot give birth. She got pregnant from Abimelech. And what Hashem did? Hashem did that the face of Abraham was the same equal face, like a twin brother to his son Yitzchak. And Medrash says to such an extent that when they used to go outside on the street, people would not know to whom to give shalom first. To old man, you should give shalom first, because till Avraham Avinu, people didn't have a gray hair. Everybody used to be no gray hair, meaning no simanim, no signs of becoming old. You have no signs. Person would be age of 100 years old, he would look as the same thing like a 20 years old. It's good, huh? You don't have to use cosmetics. The same thing with the women. That's what Rashi says. She was beautiful at 20 years old like a 7 years old. Imagine at 127 years old woman, she looks like a 20 years old girl.
Yeah.
No any scratches on the skin. Everything is perfect. What are you looking at? Okay. Rabotai, so what happens? Sarah Imenu, she gives birth to Yitzchak. Another problem. Ishmael teaches Yitzchak wrong things. She says, let go out of my house this Ishmael. He won't be educated with my son. He teaches my son wrong things. Hashem says, listen to, you see, whole life of suffering. And Rashi says, she lived equally good life. Means, the day of birth of Yitzchak, it's the most enjoyable day in life of Sarah Imenu, when Yitzchak was born. Day birth of Yitzchak is the same enjoyable days she had 127 years of her life. But reality is not so. Isn't it so? So Rabotai, it's a big issue. It depends how you look at your life. If you look at your life only in order to receive, then it's a problem. You say, what did I receive in this life? I always gave. But if you look at your life in order only to give, how much you gave to Abraham? Abraham also gave up many things for Sarah. How much he gave for Abraham? Anything he asked? Yes. Medrash says the night that Abraham Avinu, tomorrow morning Abraham Avinu has to wake up to go to bring his son to sacrifice. Akedat Yitzchak. It says, Vayashkem Abraham baboker. Abraham Avinu woke up very early in the morning with the first beam of light. What it says about Sarah Imenu? Eshet Chal, you know the song? It says, Vatakom be'od laila, v'titen teref lebeta v'chog la'na'arotea. She woke up at night. If Abraham woke up in the morning, she woke up at night to prepare everything for Abraham. What do you do learn? From where such a power comes? Tell me. From where such a power comes? That's what called power of Nefesh Elukit. That's what called power of soul of God. To give, to give, to give, to give. Abraham Avinu the same way to the people. He made a big tent, 5-star hotel. Abraham's hotel. People come, eat. He gave them everything possible to satisfy. To make them satisfied. They ate. When they came to say thank you to Abraham, Abraham said, I don't need anything from you. Just realize who gave it to you. So you gave it to us. No, I didn't. I'm only a servant. Who gave it to us? The one who created the world. Hashem who created earth and heaven. And like this he used to tell to people and bring them to believe in God. In one God. To give. This strong power to give, Rabotai, because Abraham wanted to give, it became strong power for us in the future. It says in the Talmud that when Abraham saw those three people coming towards him, on the third day of Brit Milah, that was most painful day for him, and Abraham could say, listen, I could enjoy myself on rest and sleep a little bit. right? To drink a little bit wine, to get drunk and sleep, not to feel the pain. No. Abraham was looking to do the mitzvah. Which mitzvah? Achnasat orchim. What's achnasat orchim is actual mitzvah, Rabotai? To have a guest in your house. What's actual? To give. So Hashem said, nobody going to go out at the day because it's very hot. I make hot day, especially that no one should bother Abraham. And Abraham felt bad, nobody's coming. So Hashem was supposed to bring angels from holy worlds, from upstairs to this world, in order they should come and to make Abraham happy. So Abraham went, run. He slaughtered 3 oxes. It says three wheel, in order to give 3 oxes, in order to give them special delicatessen. You know, to give them lashon bechardal, mustard, the tongue with the mustard. It's tasty. Yes. Each one got separate one. You could imagine power of giving. Then he gave him everything on the table, and vayochelu. It says they were eating. So Zohar asking question, how they were eating? They're angels. They do not need materialistic food. How they were eating? So Zohar says they were putting into their mouths, and inside of the mouth was a fire, was burning it. Why they were doing it? In order to make Abraham feel good. Power of giving, because they are angels. Power of giving. Power of giving. And they tell Abraham, you're going to have a son. And what do you think? Many years later, 400 years later, we come out of Egypt. We go in the desert. We're nothing, we have nothing. Suddenly, we get a man. Every day, a fresh portion of man. Every day. For what? For what? Talmud says, for zchut that Avraham Avinu said, I'll take some bread for you. He only said, he didn't do it. It says in the Torah that Avraham promised bread, but he didn't bring out the bread. Because bread became tameh, so he didn't bring out the bread. He only said it. Hashem said, oh, you said it. Your good intention to give. I'll give your children bread for 40 years in the desert every day fresh. Fresh. Not the once a week. No. Fresh. Every day. In the morning. You just wake up, find it next to your seat. And more than that, that bread would make taste of any taste you want. You want meat? Meat. Hashem sends the Slav. Water. People in the desert. We want to drink. Hashem, no problem. Avraham Avinu sent for the water. I also sent a person for the water. He sent Moshe Rabbeinu, bring them water. So Moshe comes, hits the rock, and the rock becomes water. It's unbelievable. And this rock goes around desert for 40 years on each day, fulfilling person's wishes. Person who could pray said, excuse me, rock, could you come please? Yeah, what would you like? Coke, Sprite, ginger ale, wine, anything you want. Just tell me. Press the button. You could imagine? Any taste of water you wanted. Any tastes. So we have no problems in the desert of Batai. Why? That's Abraham. It says in Abraham, the time of sacrifice of his son, he took the knife. But the knife in the Torah, it's a sakin. It's not ma'achelet. Ma'achelet is from the word ochel. Why it's sakin, the knife called also ma'achelet, the thing that makes you feed, to makes you food, because with a knife you chop, with a knife you cut, that it prepares the food. That's why it's called ma'achelet. And Talmud says, ma'achelet, when zchut of taking the knife in order to slaughter his son, this knife will feed Bnei Israel for entire generations and give him parnasah. So whatever parnasah that we have, Medrash says today, is because of taking the knife. V'yishlach Avraham et yado v'yikach et ha'ma'achelet. Avraham sent his hand and he took ma'achelet. Now, Why Abraham was supposed to be tested in this last test to bring his only lovely son, Yitzchak, to sacrifice? Because Hashem said, I want to see how you look like me. All the tests that I did was with other issues. But now I want to see your power of giving. Would you give up your only lovely son Yitzchak for me? No questions. Vayashkem Avraham babokir. Early in the morning, Avraham stands. He goes and searches for the place that Hashem told him. And he finds the place, he comes, he puts his son there, and he's ready. And Talmud says to such an extent he's ready that even when an angel came and told to Abraham, stop, he still cut the Yitzchak's neck. You know that? That the soul of Yitzchak came out, came to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in front of the throne of Hashem. Hashem said, go back, I didn't call you here. And Yitzchak Avinu goes back to his body. In 3 years, Yitzchak Avinu used to get treatment in Gan Eden. Imagine. 3 years in the Gan Eden? No problem. Free. So, Sanatori Gan Eden. It's unbelievable. Avraham Avinu was so sure even angel could not stop him from giving. Angel says, stop! Hashem knows. Ki yireh Elokim ata. Now Hashem knows that you have fear of Hashem. No, Hashem told me, you're not going to stop me. Hashem told me to give. I'm giving him. Rabotai, by that, you show your tzelem Elokim. You're giving. By that, you show your power of godly soul that you have. If you give. If you're only here to receive, the most that you show is the power of an animalistic soul that the only animal is possible to do, to take, to eat, to take for itself. That's all. That's what instinct of animal. For me, for me, for me only. And power of giving, it's only for the person. That's all two powers that we have in ourselves. And if we will understand this, suddenly we start to understand that we give to our children, to our wives, the wife to the husband, and to all other people all around us. Sometimes even simple smile to the person. You gave him life today. Simple smile. Ma yetzeh mimcha. What do you lose? Just smile to people. You gave a nice smile. Yeah, women should not smile to men, but only to his husband, only to her husband. And husband also should not smile to other women, only to his wife or to his relatives in the home. Only simple smile. Give. He doesn't worth it. Give. You don't lose anything. But if you think that the power of giving is destructive sometimes, it is true. Hashem gave so much rain in time of Noah that nothing left in this world. Nothing left in this world because Hashem gave us so much rain. Sometimes power of giving is destructive. You should know how to give. And now another, how to teach our power of taking. It's impossible just to give and to give and not to take. I'll tell you how to take. As an example with the food, when you were satisfied, you took the food, but you gave back. Really, you didn't take. Your intention was to give. The same way, Rabotai, is intentions to give when you take. If you take in order to give, you should know you're not taking, you're giving. As the people come to me sometimes, they give me tzedakah, they say, Rabbi, you know what to do with that. So I took the tzedakah. What do you think? What did I do? I took it? No. I passed it on. What did I really do? I was only the messenger of giving, not of taking. But really I took the money. No. I just passed it. That's what called Rabotai to be power of giving. Even you taking. So when you pray to Hashem, you say, give, give. Right? You're asking from Hashem. Don't ask only give. Give us in order to take. give us in order we should give others. That's how you should pray. Today, when young couple gets married, why the first year is very, tough year for them? Because intentions of their marriage is only expectations from each other in order to receive, not to give. And when they say we love each other, the word ahava in Hebrew context, the root of the word means have. Have, it means to give. To give. You understand? So when you have this giving power, it really means you love. And sometimes when you give, even certain things that you don't want to give, you conquer your will. You go against your will and you give. That's how you show your love. As we showed with the Sarah Imenu. Sarah Imenu was ready to go for Abraham Avinu to water and to the fire till death. She didn't care because I would like him to love me. And how he loved her? He loved her. She did a lot of things for Abraham Avinu. She went to Paro's house and everything that we said before, just for him to give. He did also a lot of things for Sarah Imenu. And that's why you might understand now why Hashem created us two, not one. And eventually, we in the beginning were one in the beginning, then Hashem separated us. Now, once we connect, why we connect? In order to experience and to practice this power of giving. Give to each other. Don't take anything, give. But you cannot say no, that the woman comes from power of taking. What she does, she should not only take, she should give it back. Expend it already. That's what she does actually, in creation of the child. The same thing, the woman, it says, "En bracha metzuya bebeto shel adam elo bishvil ishto." The blessing of the house is because of woman. Why? It says, "Ulavraham hetiv ba'avura," and Abraham had everything good because of her, because of Sarah. Why? Even wife has a power of taking, right? But she has a power of expending it and giving back more. That's power we should not lose. Man has a power of giving, naturally. Woman has a power of taking and expending it and giving back more. That's how built the whole world. And it says in Torah, Olam Chesed Yibaneh. The world was created by Chesed. What's Chesed? Is to help, to give. That's how you create the world. World is not created by taking. The First World War. Who knows the First World War? You know what was interesting? First World War was Cain and Abel's war, Rabotai. And what was all war about, Rabotai? About taking. Whose things belongs to who? Cain came and said, "You eating my fruits." Abel said, "You wearing my coat of my sheep." Was arguing this. Cain said, "I'm Bechor, I should get two girls, two wives, because Abel was born with two twin sisters. Cain was born with one twin sister. So Cain said, I'm Bechor, so give me one. So I have to have two, because Bechor takes twice as more. Abel said, no, they were born with me, so they belong to me. You see? Taking, not giving. In order to develop this, we have to go through very big school of life. This 1 hour lecture won't move anything if we won't practice it. Everyone should go to his house and start to practice it. How do I give? Not how do I take. How do I give? Your wife made you nice dinner. Smile, say, beautiful dinner, say nice words. So you gave, you really didn't take. Yeah, this food is floating in your stomach there. But you give. Your husband came tired, make him nice smile. Because wife has such a power. We gave it the previous lectures. Wife has such a spiritual power that she could turn upside down the person. That's how big power woman has. That's what it is. Mizrat Hashem, Hashem should give us koach. Hashem should give us power to give. You see, I say Hashem should give us power to give. And Bezrat Hashem, שיבוא משיח תתקן במהרה בימינו.